All right, everyone. Good evening. How is everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone is having a great evening. I can see Sophia in the chat house. Hello, Sophia. How are you? I hope you had a great day and I hope you're having a great evening as well. So, as you can see from today's third live streaming session, we would be focusing on the educational concept, right? So when it comes to the field of education, it is very important to understand that making money is important, but at the same time it is also important to learn. How many of you agree with what I am saying? All right, so before we continue, I just want to make sure everyone has entered our live streaming session and let me know which cities you are from. How was your day? I would love to know my audience. I would love to have a good interaction with them because this particular live streaming session is about you know um, exploring the factors when it comes to the psychological aspects. So we would be talking about trading logic, but before we continue, let me give you a quick introduction about myself. I am Harsh. I have been having 8 years of trading experience in the financial markets. I have been trading the forex markets, the commodity markets like oil, silver, gold, as well as the US based indices. Correct. So with 8 years of experience, it feels like time has just flown by. Correct. 8 years has flown so quickly. I just feel I started yesterday, right? And I will be primarily focusing on this particular topic. But before I would continue, I want to know how many of you have been attending our live streaming sessions. I'm very sure many of you have been attending. I can see Rocky in the chat house. Hello, Rocky. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great evening as well. So, many people might not be knowing me, but if you are aware of all your high net worth customers and clients, they know me, right? They must be particularly being aware that Harsh has been in the market for the last 8 years, right? So, everyone, here we will be talking about trading logic, and most importantly, the reason that everyone is attending this particular live streaming session is because everyone has a clear objective in mind: how to generate wealth. Am I correct? Everyone has the same objective, right? And we have come together over here for this live streaming to learn and understand how we can achieve financial freedom, right? So let us officially start with the live streaming session, and we would be basically calling it as logical buying and logical selling elite class. Now, how many of you would want to become elite in your in the field of financial trading? How many of you would want to become the best when it comes to the financial market? Write down in the chat box and tell me, do you want to become an elite? Then do let me know. All right. So, what is basically trading logic? Have you heard about trading logic previously? Does anyone in the chat room know what trading logic is about? So, trading logic is nothing but certain rules and practices that have been put forward by people who have already been successful in the field that they possess, right? So, how can we apply the logic that people have already used to become successful when it comes to the financial markets? That is, in a nutshell, about trading logic. Now, all of us over here who are attending our live stream session all have different aspirations. Am I correct? Everyone over here is going to be having different aspirations. So many people over the time, their aspirations change, correct? Now, many of us, when we were in school, we used to think that we want to get into the best middle school. Am I correct? When we were in middle school, we were looking to get into the best of the high schools. When we entered into high school, we wanted to get the best of the universities. I hope you are able to connect the dots, right? So, similarly, when it comes to the field of financial trading, people's aspirations keep changing. Now, I hope people are understanding this point, and very important it is to ask you in terms of, are you having the mindset to multiply your assets by tenfold? I hope everyone can see my screen. If yes, write down in the chat box, right? We need to have a lot of interaction, because with interaction, you will be having to learn more about what the topic is about. And if you have any doubts or queries, you can always get back to me. All right. Does that sound good? So if I were to ask you if you could multiply your account by 10 times, would that align with your dreams? Now, everyone over here is having different aspirations. How many of you want to achieve financial freedom? If yes, write down yes in the chat box. Who one would want to make their lives and their family, the lives of their family members, more comfortable? Who wants to make their parents comfortable, their relatives comfortable, right? Having a good and happy life. So everyone should answer this question. If you were to multiply your assets by 10 times, would that be the point that would be aligning with your dreams? Let me know. So Rocky is writing yes. Sophia is writing yes. Everyone wants to, everyone would want to double or make their account grow by 10 times. Now, our trading, we will be focusing on this, and you have to understand that the topic that we would be covering is going to be about initial intentions, right? First, it starts in the mind, and then later is how we can implement it. So basically, when it comes, this is going to be our initial intention, right? And make sure you do not lose sight of it. So in the trading logic, we have basically two bifurcation, right? Two segments. Excuse me. So two segments are, so trading logic is divided into two segments. The first segment is the psychological learning. What do you mean by psychological learning? Anyone who can answer me? Psychological learning is all to do with the psychic abilities of a person, right? So psychic means the mind. How can you prepare yourself psychologically? That is what psychology stands for. And the second point is called as implementation based learning, following people who have already achieved success in whichever field they are in. Since we are talking about trading, we are going to be looking about people, including us, who have done well in the financial markets, and how you can implement their strategies, correct? Sophia is writing, the realization of my dream requires 100-fold effort. That is fantastic, Sophia. Like, the bigger the aspirations, the better, correct? Sophia is also writing, at least 100 million is what it takes for me to achieve financial freedom in the stock market. How wonderful that is. I love the way you are mentioning that you are wanting 100 million. You are very concise and precise when it comes to mentioning such a figure. Many of you would be asking in terms of, Harsh, we are happy with maybe 10 million or 20 million, but Sophia has huge aspirations, 100 million, and that is good, because only if you have big aspirations can you have the mindset of acquiring that aspiration, because it all starts psychologically, as I had mentioned, right? What starts in the brain can be implemented. What is in the brain can be turned into reality by implementation, correct? How many of you are understanding? Right? If yes, write down in the chat box and say, Harsh, yes, it makes complete sense. All right. Now, people have to understand that it is very, very important to understand that no matter how well you might be succeeding in the financial markets, if your mindset or your initial intention is not clear, you will be losing money in the financial markets in the long term. Do you agree with me? All right, I'm sure people are understanding that it is about making money in the financial markets, but if your initial intention is not clear, you are going to lose everything in the financial markets. How many of you agree with me? Write down in the comment box and say yes or no. All right. So it's very important to be aware of our initial intentions. Now, many people who enter the stock market, right? Their first aspiration is, you know what, I should tell you, but I would want your answer. What are your initial aspirations when, for those people who are new when it comes to stock trading, when it comes to the financial markets? People will be saying, like Sophia has mentioned, 100 million. Very good, right? But majority of the people who come into the financial markets are having the first aspiration or the first intention of just making profits quickly. Am I correct? Write down in the chat box. Do you think that as a trader, your first intention that comes to in the stock market, in the financial markets, is to make quick profits, right? But I have observed over my experience of more than 8 years, I have been observing that people always start with the initial intention of making quick money. But once they start trading and over a period of time, their intention changes, their aspiration changes to just getting back to break even. I hope people understand. Are you aware what break even is? Not making money and not losing money. So because they are so heavily in losses, all they care about, all they aspire for, is to get back to break even so that they can recover their losses. That is how the overall intention changes, right? I hope people are understanding. People have an intention which is completely different from once they enter the market by themselves and they start to take trades, and what they had initially thought about turns to be the opposite, where they are losing money and all they care is about making or recovering the losses so that they can close at break even, or they can get their account back to break even. How many of you are able to understand? Write down sorry, write down in the chat box. Now, if something does apply in this particular for this particular scenario, if you think that your initial intention is not clear, you have to figure out a way that can resolve it, because you are the only one who can take action for yourself, correct? Like Sophia wants to attain 100 million in terms of financial freedom. She has to work hard. She needs to be clear from her mind that yes, I can do it. It all starts from the brain, so I can do it, and then you can implement the strategies, correct? I hope everyone is understanding. So very important. So if you have any obstacles, any struggles, any challenges when it comes to your initial intention, you have to figure out a way. Only you know what is best for you. Am I correct? All right. So, in terms of moving forward, we have to make sure that we are able to overcome our initial intentions. All right. So, now, how many of you want to make big money? Why are you wanting to make big money? And for whom are you wanting to make big money? Write down in the comment box and say, yes, Harsh, we want to make money because of XYZ. Write down in the comment box and tell me, why do you want to make big money and for whom do you want to make big money? All right, so people are saying that, Harsh, we want to make money because we want to achieve financial freedom. We want to live life without any stress, without any tension. We want to have we want to provide the best for our children, for our family. So all points are valid, correct? Everyone has different aspirations, and that should be how it is. But if you have any challenges, you have to make sure that you are taking the right steps in terms of overcoming those. Am I correct? Write down in the chat box and let me know. Okay, so make sure that you're writing your goals and always remember your intentions, right? It is very important to write down your goals and remember your initial investment, intentions, because only once you write down, you can psychologically rewire your brain in terms of reminding yourself that yes, it is possible to achieve financial freedom, and you can achieve. If someone has been achieving, you can achieve it as well. Am I correct? Am I making sense? If yes, write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh. It is making sense that first it all starts from the brain, and then it comes to, implementation, whether it could be strategies, whether it could be risk management. Those are later. First, it's always about psychological learning, correct? Sophia is writing, make a lot of money. Correct, Sophia. So, in terms of making money, you have to be clear from your mind that yes, first and foremost, it is possible. If you yourself are not confident within your capabilities or within your intentions that you want to make a lot of money, it cannot be possible, correct? So you have to make the intention clear. Your initial intention should be very clear in terms of what you want to achieve. Is that correct? All right, good job. So write down your goals and always remember your initial intentions. How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? Write down in the chat box and let me know that yes, we are understanding quite well. So this is a very important line that I want to get across. Wealth is merely a means, all right? Wealth is merely a means. It is happiness and fulfillment that are the main goals. How many of you agree with me for this particular quote? All right, it is very important to understand that your generation of wealth is good. All right, there is no denying in that generation of wealth is important, but it is merely a means to achieve what you want to attain in life. Your end goal can be something else, but wealth can never be your end goal, right? Wealth is a means, it's a way to achieve your end goals. Your end goals generally will always end up with these two qualities that I have mentioned. One is happiness and the other one is fulfillment. How many of you are understanding? Write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh. It is completely making sense, because why are you making money, right? Money is just paper. It doesn't hold value if you think about it. It is the intention that we connect money to, that we can buy this product, we can buy a car, we can buy the Ferrari, we can buy the Lamborghini, we can buy the mansions, we can buy the yachts, we can take our family for world tours, we can provide them with all the facilities and utilities that make us happy and safe and comfortable. So wealth is only a means to achieve what your end goal is, that is being happy and being fulfilled in life, correct? Am I making sense? Yes. So write down in the comment box and say yes, Harsh, we are understanding what you're saying. Now, also make sure, it is very crucial to understand what is true intention and what is false, right? So you have to be true to yourself and take the call and be clear that yes, what is my true intention, right? Not what I want, it is what I need, right? Wants can be many. I want to have this, I want to have, but a need, right? NEED is, that is what states where you truly desire something. Those are called as needs. So make sure you are able to distinguish between true intentions and false intentions. All right, I hope people are understanding very well. Now, in terms in the financial markets, I have come across a lot of clients and customers and my viewers who are being bullied in the financial markets. How many of you feel that you have been bullied in the financial markets? Write down in the comment box and tell me, has any one of you been bullied in the financial markets? Have you been feeling bad or angry or sad that you have lost money in the markets, right? Do you think that people who are sitting on the other side of the trading, or some in other part of the world, do you think that you are, they are making money out of you. So are you being bullied in the financial markets is the main question. Many people feel that it could be because of policy, it could be because of institutions, it could be because of main funds, right? How many of you have are feeling that you have had unpleasant experiences in the financial markets previously, whether losses, whether losing accounts, whether blowing up accounts? How many of you have had such previous experiences in the financial market? Write down in the comment section. Have you been felt that the institution is playing against you in your trades? Do you think the main funds are being playing against you? By the way, we at Dolphin Markets are FII. All right. I want to make it clear we are ourselves a foreign investment institutions. So, do you think these big players are making you or are bullying you when it comes to the financial markets? However, you have to understand that when it comes to the overall markets, some people are, either losing money completely. Some people are making money little and losing also little. So they're at break even. How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? All right, so some people are losing completely. They start to trade and they blow up their accounts, or they lose all the money they have in the account. The second category of people are having little experience and they're either making and are losing. So they don't even make, and they don't make overall. They are at break even, not making and not losing. Then there is the third category of people who have more experience in the financial markets, and these people are the ones who are making profits but not consistent profits, right? How many of you are able to connect with what I'm saying? Write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we have had experiences like this in the past. If you did have, please write down in the box, right? Comment box. So we have to make sure that there are certain reasons, right, why people feel that they are being bullied when it comes to the financial markets. How many of you would want to know the reasons why people are being bullied in the financial market? If you think you are being bullied in the financial markets, write down in the comment box and tell Harsh, yes, I have had unpleasant experiences, maybe because of losses or whatever reason it is. You can let me know in the comment box. All right. So people have to understand that I've come across many of our viewers who are, the best when it comes to their specific categories. Maybe fashion, maybe design, maybe architecture, maybe businesses. But when it comes to the field of financial markets, they are struggling. How many of you are having the problem of struggling in the financial markets? Write down in the comment box. So our courses would be showing you in terms of how to identify certain market opportunities, right? Because people are successful in other areas of life, they think that they can be successful in the financial markets. But what happens eventually is that they do not attain the same level of success in the financial markets, right? How many of you are agreeing with me? So these are mainly because of the distractions that are playing havoc, right, in your mind. Remember, we talked about psychological learning and implementation based learning. So first and foremost, it starts with your mind. How can you prevent yourself from being distracted in the markets? So before we continue, I want to make sure everyone is paying good attention. If you have any doubts, you can always get back to me, because I will be providing you with all your queries. I will be answering all your queries and would be letting you know if you have any doubts. Does that sound good? All right. So first and foremost, we would be having to look in terms of how to identify your distractions and how to overcome it. So that will be being covered in our courses at a later date. But first and foremost, I have to make you understand what are the issues that lie in causing these kind of setbacks, right? Whether it is distractions or whether you are not being successful when it comes to the financial markets. Are you having the same issues in your trading journey? Then write down in the comment box and tell me that, yes, Harsh, I have also been having such setbacks in my trading journey as well. So first, we are going to be talking about buying too hastily. How many of you are able to connect with the first point, buying too hastily? Everyone who enters into the financial market is entering with the main purpose of making money quickly. Am I correct? Am I correct? Write down in the chat box and say yes. How many of you just want to trade so that you can make money quickly? How many of you would want to do that? Write down in the chat box. All right, so this is the main first and the main distraction or the issues that are making you unsuccessful when it comes into the financial market, right? They are buying too hastily. I want to take trades and I want to make quick money, right? Second point is selling too greedily. Now, what do you mean by selling too greedily? Anyone in the chat house, how many can answer this question? What do you mean by selling too greedily? It's about wanting more profits. Whenever people are overconfident or they over expect, right? I'm pretty sure everyone has heard about the term expectation, and there's another term called as over expectation. So when people want to make much more because of being greedy, correct? When people are being greedy, what happens? People over expect, and when people over expect, the markets they do not do well because the account has to go through a lot of volatility before you can achieve those kind of big profits that people are expecting. So it is important to understand that selling too greedily basically stands for over expecting your profits. How much profits? How many of you want to make more profits, right? I'm sure everyone will say yes, but you have to be careful of this point because over expectation leads to becoming unsuccessful. Yes, you should expect, but your limit of expectation should be at such a level where you are being able to consistently make profits, right? Are you understanding? Any questions, let me know, right? It is important to understand this point. Yes, expectation is good, but over expectation is not good. All right, then talking about the third point, which is hesitating to cut losses. Now, how many of you have had this similar experience in your trading journey? Write down in the chat box and let me know. So hesitating to cut losses is basically, let me give you an example. Now, if someone falls ill, right? There are some people who will go to the doctor when they are feeling unwell, even a little, right? Maybe little fever, maybe little headache, and they will go to the doctor to have a checkup. On the other hand, there are some people who might be having very big illness, like might be severely ill, and they go to the doctor only when it is reached to a level of whether they are having unbearable pain or the symptoms of their illness is become very complicated. That is the time they remember that, okay, now I have to go to the doctor. I hope you're able to understand the point. So hesitating to cut losses is very similar. When a loss is running, it is important to know when to either close the trade or take another decision in terms of adding or hedging. What I'm trying to say is you should be aware rather than exiting when you should have. Majority of the people who are in the financial market, they are like, no, it will go, and they let the trade run on hope. How many of you understand this point? When people hesitate to cut losses, sometimes the markets keep going against and against, and that is the time when people realize, oh, I am, in such a big loss. I am losing so much of money. My drawdown is so huge, right? How many of you have encountered these kind of scenarios, right? Many people will be saying, yes, Harsh, this is exactly what has been happening to me. So you should be aware of this third point, that is hesitating to cut losses. And we will be showing during our course in terms of how to overcome these points, correct? So how many of you are willing to learn more about the course? Write down in the comment box and say, yes, Harsh, we are willing to learn, and we want you to teach us more about trading logic. Because I say to all my clients, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear, right? Now, coming to the fourth point, what is it? Holding too many different stocks, right? Now, we are talking about diversification, but if you are holding too many stocks, it is called as over diversification, correct? How many people are able to understand this particular point? When we over diversify, we create problems for ourselves. So you have to be aware that only five stocks should be running, at the same time simultaneously. You should be allowing only five stocks to run. If your account falls between the range of a few thousand rupees to approximately 30 crores, this is the limit of the retail investor, right? The average limit of the retail investor. So you have to be very careful in terms of not over diversifying, correct? How many people are understanding? Write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we are completely understanding what you're saying. So I hope everyone is understanding. These are the main four issues or challenges or setbacks that people suffer, due to which they are unsuccessful when it comes to the financial markets. Right? Buying too hastily in the urge of making profits instantly, selling too greedily, not over expecting their trades to make more profits from them when they should have closed their trades at the required profit, hesitating to cut losses, right? Rather than cutting losses at the required time, they let the trades run based on hope, right? That it will reverse eventually. And that is where sometimes when the markets don't reverse, they are sitting in huge losses, correct? So hesitating to cut losses. And fourth, holding too many different positions, over diversifying the portfolio. That these all points have to be paid attention to, right? Because these are the points that are resulting for people in not being successful, right? So please be aware that these are the major points. How many of you are able to understand all these points that I'm discussing? Remember that all these points are based on real time, experiences, based on real life. So you have to be aware that such points have to be paid attention to. These are not hypothetical scenarios. These are real life scenarios. How many of you are making are understanding what I'm saying? Is it real life scenarios? If yes, write down in the chat box and say yes. It is, a real life scenario. People have been experiencing this on a real time basis, right? Now, in terms of how to restrain ourselves from these setbacks, or from these kind of issues that we are having during our trading journey, you have to understand how can we restrain ourselves during the trading process. How many of you want to restrain yourselves in terms of the issues or the setbacks that I was talking about? Write down, if you say yes, write down yes in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box what you are thinking about. Is it about controlling your actions, or is it about controlling your greed and fear? How many of you agree with this? Is it about controlling your actions, or is it about controlling your greed and fear? How many people understand what greed is? All right. If you understand, write down in the chat box. I would love to know what greed is about. What is greed and what is fear? Write down in the chat box and let me know what you think about it. So is it about controlling our actions or controlling our greed and fear? And you would be surprised to know that it is not even this. It is about our initial intentions, right? As I talk to you, what is it that you want to achieve in life? Why you want to achieve big profits in your life? For whom do you want to achieve big profits in your life? These are the questions that need to be put more attention to. So is it about controlling your actions or about greed or fear? That might be secondary, but primarily it is about our initial intention. How well our initial intention is within ourselves, how strong our initial intention is, how clear our initial intention is. That is very important. How many people are understanding? Write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we are understanding, and it is fantastic. All right. How many of you are enjoying this live streaming session? How do you think that you're gaining a lot of knowledge? Or then write and say, yes, we are learning a lot and we are happy that Harsh is teaching us, correct? So it's important to understand these points, all right? Now, when I had mentioned to you in terms of whether you want to have financial freedom, whether you want to make your account grow by tenfold, now these are the different, initial intentions. So you have to be very clear first and foremost about your intention, and then we can look about our actions and our other behaviors such as greed or fear, and then we can overlook them as well. How many people are understanding? All the data, all the strategies, all the concepts will be covered as in how we progress during the live streaming session. We have approximately 10 courses that we would be focusing upon, and today is just the first session where we had to be clear about trading logic, correct? Buying logic and selling logic for the elite class. How many of you wants to be elite? Write again in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we want to be elite, right? So I'm pretty sure that most of you who have been attending our live streaming sessions are basically are focusing on, Harsh, can you teach us about price behavior? Harsh, could you teach us more about psychological behavior? Sorry, about indicators, right? Everyone comes with the same mindset. Can we do this? How we can be, making money based on price behavior, indicator strategies? But you have to understand those are secondary. They are not that important. They are important, okay? I'm not denying they are not important, but there is something which is more significant than that, and that is about knowing your initial intention, right? How many of you are understanding? And in those terms, whether it comes to financial trading or whether it comes to when it comes to price behavior, whether it comes to indicator analysis and strategies, they are relatively simple. What is not simple is how you can master your mindset, right? How you can conquer and clarify and solidify your initial intentions, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope everyone is paying good amount of attention, because we should be focusing on how to strengthen our initial intention, right? I hope people are paying attention, because make sure if you want to write it down, write it on a piece of pen and paper so that you can remember. You can even keep the video as a reference and keep going through to understand and gain more knowledge, right? I hope everything is making sense. All right. So in terms of and all these points that have been talked about, whether it's even about strategies or price behavior, indicator strategies, we will provide you with that as well. You do not have to worry about that. So this first session on trading logic and the psychological and implementation learning is very important to make sure that people are understanding this, right? Very much people might be not aware of this, but that is why you have to focus more on these concepts, because very few people talk about this, right? Most of them are just talking about buy sell. They want to talk about trading, they want to talk about price action, price behavior, or we can use this indicator to make so much of money. But that will not be relevant in the long term, because that will only lead to you losing money in the financial markets, correct? So make sure that your initial intention is clear, correct? Now, before we continue, we have to make sure that I would be providing you with assignments, right? Since so much of high value content has been shared to you, it is important to understand that you need to implement it as well. How many of you are agreeing with me? So, for the assignment based on today's session, I want to make sure that you are clearly understanding what I am trying to say, correct? In terms of one second. So in terms of our understanding, I hope people are making sense. Now, in terms of our assignments First and foremost, which is the first assignment that I'm going to be talking about? Reflecting on what's your formula for a happy life. So, one second, give me a minute. Okay, so talking about the first assignment, the first assignment, reflect on what's your formula for a happy life. What is your intention? What is your expectation in the financial markets, right? What is going to make you happy eventually? You have to understand that as well. Yes, wealth is merely a means, but happiness and fulfillment are the end goals, right? The main goals. So first and foremost, make sure that you're understanding on what you want to reflect. That would be your formula for a happy life. Write down on a piece of pen and paper so that you can work upon this, right? Second is reviewing this live streaming session several times. Remember, maybe you look at it once and you will gain some knowledge. If you look at it for the second time, you will learn more, right? Whenever you watch a video multiple times, like the video that you are watching now, you will understand that there is going to be lot of information that you are able to to gather. Maybe the first time you watched, you understood little less, but as and how you start watching more, you will be having more knowledge, more understanding. How many of you agree with what I'm saying? Right? If yes, write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh, we are completely understanding. So make sure sorry, make sure that you are listening to this particular live streaming session again and again. Like, listen to this live streaming to this lesson, to this particular course again and again, so you can learn more and understand better. All right, does that sound good? And third, and most importantly, you have to look into the mirror and adjust your mindset, because only you and you will be your best judge. I cannot know what is best for you. I can know what is best for me, right? Similarly, you know what is best for you. So stand in front of the mirror, look into the mirror, and adjust your mindset. What do you want to achieve in life? What is your end goal? Happiness, success, a relationship, financial freedom, money, reputation, attention, stardom. It could be anything. What is your mindset? How are you looking yourself in the mirror, and what are you expecting by yourself? Look into the mirror and answer yourself. And after answering yourself, write it down on a piece of paper. These are the 3 points that have to be paid huge attention to. This is not a joke. Remember, this is for your betterment. So how many of you are going to make sure sorry, how many of you are going to make sure that the three assignments that I have provided to you for today for this course is going to be done by you? How many of you are going to do it? Write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh, I will be doing your assignment because you have taught us so well. How many of you are going to do it? Write down in the chat box. Make sure you're able to understand, right? Your aspirations, your intentions. Your formula for a happy life is nothing but your aspirations, intentions, what you want for yourself, what will make you happy, what will make you feel that you have done well and that you are feeling contented about, right? You have to be very clear about this, and it is so important to understand that these points are going to change your life. You would not believe it, but it is a fact. These points will change your life. If you are able to do this particular assignment, it will be better for you, because you are going to have a new perspective when it comes to what is trading. When people talk about trading, people only talk about making money. Yes, making money is important, but what is more important is your aspirations, intention. If making money and your aspirations are not matching, then it doesn't make sense. So your aspirations need to match, and only once they match, you can internally feel that you have achieved significance in life. Correct? I hope Rocky and Sophia, you have been very great in asking questions and having conversations. I want more people in the future to have more conversations with me so that you can also understand and share your input, your queries, your doubts, your questions, whatever it is, and I will try my best to reply to as many messages as possible, right? So how many of you had a great time for today's session? Write down in the comment box and tell me how many of you had great expectations from this particular life course, this particular concept. I hope it's new, right? Many of you don't are not even aware that there is something called as trading logic. Many people only talk about making money. We at Dolphin Markets are different, right? Harsh is different because I believe in providing value content, right? Yes, we will be making money. Remember, in the first and the second live streaming session, all we do is analyze the stock market and provide you with hot stock recommendations. That is already that we are providing to you. But you have to understand that first it has to start psychologically. You fix your psychological learning concept, and then you can implement by following our strategies, by following our hot stock recommendations, and you can start making money over there as well. But first and foremost, it is always important to start with the mindset, right? How many of you are agreeing with me? Write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh, we are completely agreeing with what you are saying. So again, let me repeat quickly. Reflect for this particular assignment. Make sure you do it because you're going to do it for yourself. You're not doing it for me, you are doing it for you, right? So first point, reflect on what's your formula for a happy life. What are your aspirations, your intentions? Secondly, listen to today's live streaming session again and again, several times, so that you can learn more with each time you're watching. And third, stand in front of the mirror, look yourself into the mirror, and adjust your mindset. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve in life? What are my aspirations, intentions? And let your heart talk out to yourself and be like, yes, we have to do this. So whatever, everyone has different aspirations, intentions, write it down and let me know how you felt today's session has been. I'm pretty sure everyone has had great amount of information. I really want to thank each and everyone who has attended this particular live streaming session, because this session has been very valuable in terms of the content, but more valuable based on the interaction that I am having with all of you, right? So for all of you who have stayed with me till the end of my live streaming session, a very big congratulations. I am very happy and proud that all of you have watched. So make sure that all the assignments are being done on time, because I want to make sure, remember, these assignments, let me repeat it again, these assignments are not for me but for you. So the more you pay attention to these assignments, the better for you, right? So I hope everyone has had a good understanding. If you have any doubts, sorry, if you have any doubts, any queries, any questions, you can always revert back to me, because like I say to all my viewers and to all my clients, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear, right? So I hope everyone had a great evening, and I'm very sure that everyone who has attended this live streaming session has gained a lot of knowledge. Am I right? If I'm right, if you're saying that Harsh is right, write down in the chat box and say yes, Harsh, you have done a fantastic job in explaining what is actually necessary. It is not about making money, it is about changing your mindset, right? Your aspirations, your intentions, your initial intentions, right? So everyone, I hope everyone has had a good time, has had a good learning experience, and thank you again, once again, for people joining our logical buying and logical selling elite class, right? I hope people have again good amount of knowledge, and I will catch you again for the first live streaming session that will be taking place tomorrow, where we would be looking at the markets and we would be seeing how the markets are reacting and how the markets are moving, and provide you with hot stock recommendations as well. So everyone, it was a pleasure having this session with you, and I will catch you tomorrow for the first live streaming session. Until then, take care. Namaste, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.